How's it going, everybody? So today we're continuing our series that I want to purge the nation of broke carpet cleaners. So today what we're going to talk about is how to absolutely guarantee that you're making a profit in your business, period. If you do certain things in your business, you will guarantee that you're a profitable business from day one. This doesn't have to be, oh, I got to be in business 3 or 5 years to make a profit. No, you can make a profit from day one, period. It can be done. You don't have to wait. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to be in a certain place. You can profit right away. The only thing that can stop you from profiting typically will be debt. If you're in a lot of debt, you're going to have to get out of debt before we can really start being profitable. Debt will kill a business, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you do debt in the wrong way, it can kill your business. There are ways, of leveraging debt for good things. Yeah, you can do that. You can have debt in business, but uncontrolled debt will kill your business. So that just being said, let's move on and we'll make sure that you guys are profitable in your business. So one thing I want to make sure you guys do is there was some other videos prior to this that you need to listen to, and I'll put them up in the in a tag here above my head, and you can kind of look at those. So how do we go about guaranteeing profit? So first of all, there's a book that this whole video is more or less based on. That book is called Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. It's down in the description. Make sure you guys are reading that book. You can get it on audio, you can get it on, as a hard copy, but make sure you're going into that and you're taking it to heart. The things that are laid out in that book, if you do them and you do them just like it says in the book, it absolutely works. And if you read the book and say, yeah, sounds good, I'll do this and I'll implement that, and the rest I'll just throw out. If you do it halfway, then it's halfway. It's not going to function exactly right. Can it still work? Sure, it can still work. And is this video for everyone? No. Some of you guys are already profitable, that you run multi-truck operations and you know your numbers and everything's working great. If that's you, fantastic. This video isn't for you. This is for the guys out there that I know are listening to this video that are struggling, that feel like there's not enough money by the time they get to the end of the month. They're like, I don't know where the money went. I don't know what I bought with it. It just seems to disappear and go away. At the end of the month, I don't have anything left, and I'm paying my payroll on a credit card, and it's just a mess. And I'm paying my taxes on a credit card, and I'm maxed out, and I've got debt up to my eyeballs, and you feel that pressure of the world coming down on you. This is what this video is. That's who this video is for, is those people that are struggling, that feel like they're underwater and they're drowning and they don't see a road out. So it's for the guys that are just getting into business, that don't want to be there. Believe me, you don't want to be drowning in debt. You don't want to be to the point where you don't see a way out, or there's a climb of 1,000 feet, like climbing Mount Everest to get out of debt. So this will eliminate the need to worry about this. It will eliminate the guesswork. It will absolutely guarantee that everything is paid exactly like it should, year in, year out, for as long as you own the business. If finances aren't a struggle for you, this may be something that you don't need. But I guarantee you that if you are struggling, if this is something that you struggle with, this will absolutely set you free from that burden of just worrying about how you're going to pay everything all the time. So what we're going to do, what is Profit First? What is it about? So step one is, this is the hardest thing about Profit First, and setting it up, getting it ready to go. Especially if you're already in a current bank and it's hard to they don't want to work with you and they don't want to give you the accounts that you need to do this. Sometimes you got to switch banks. I personally switched banks. When I started implementing this, I thought, you know what, I just need to make a change, and this is what I want to do. And to implement it was difficult. It took me a while. It actually took me 2 banks to do it, 2 switches. So it was a double pain. So before you switch, make sure that everything is lined up at the first bank. that you go to, and that you exactly know where they stand and how they work and what their systems are like, so you know that it's going to function for you. Personally, I ended up at Union Bank, but there are other banks that do this. Union isn't nationwide, so it's one of those things you're going to have to dig in and find a bank that will work with you. So what does it require? It requires several accounts. Okay, this is how I have mine set up. Now I have payroll. Some of you guys don't have payroll, so you'll have less accounts. So it's going to require opening several accounts. The first account is the income account. So that income account is where everything comes in, all your receipts, everything, all of your gross money comes into that income account. They write you check, they wrote credit card, Venmo, Cash App, however they paid you, it all goes into that account. So everything goes to this income account. And now at the end of the day or the end of the week or however you want to do it, you take that income money that's in that income account and you're going to distribute it. So this takes some math. So you're going to have to figure out what your cost of goods sold are, and that was in a previous video as well, what your cost of goods sold are, what your expenses are. You're going to have to dig into a few months or a year of your expenses, pull those percentages out. Okay, I spend 20% on expenses in a year. I spend this much on payroll. I spend this much on taxes. Then once you know your percentages, all you have to do is set up your accounts. So we have the income account. That's the first one that gathers all the money. The next, and then you're going to have several other accounts. You're going to have an expense account. The expense account's going to cover basically anything you spend for the business aside from payroll, aside from taxes, aside from profit. Those are all other things. So you're going to have expenses. That's going to cover your advertising, going to cover your marketing, going to cover your fuel. It's going to cover your new tires on the van eventually. It's going to cover all of that stuff. That's anything that's an expense, chemicals, all of that comes out of the expense account. Okay. The next account you're going to need set up is your taxes. So we all have to pay that evil tax man, right? And nothing's worse than getting to the end of the year and realizing I don't have enough to pay these taxes. I'm going to have to take money, put it on a credit card, or borrow it from someplace and gather it up and give it to the tax guy, and then you're in debt, right, to the tax man. You never want to be in debt to the tax man. It doesn't feel good. So you have that tax account, and whatever your tax burden is where that percentage comes out. So you're going to talk to your tax guy. Don't talk to me. I don't know what your taxes are. You're going to talk to your tax guy and say, okay, what did we pay last year? If you're a brand new business, you say, what do you project I'm going to pay? And they'll evaluate your expenses, and they'll say, okay, this is how much money you're bringing in, this is how much you took, and all this, and they'll tell you, you want to save this amount of money. Write that down as a percentage, and that's how much is going to go by percent. So each of these accounts, your expense account, if you spend 20% on expenses, 20% goes, label it, nickname it, expenses, 20% in there. And then your taxes, okay, taxes, 15%. And then you keep going down. What's your payroll? Figure out your payroll. That includes workers' comp and all that. Figure out what percentage of your business is payroll expenses. If it's 30%, it might happens to be 35%. In the summer, it might go up a little bit. If we're paying a lot of overtime, it might bump up to 40%. So know that number, know that percentage. So, I'm going to say 35%. Next one is owner compensation. So what are you paying yourself? Now, when you're setting your prices and things off that cost of goods sold, you're going to have your labor in there. What I recommend doing is pay yourself that percentage. So whatever your owner compensation percentage you want to be forever. So say you always want to be at 35% as an owner compensation, whether you're on the truck or off the truck, then you should always pay yourself that 35%. You be making more than that, and I just pulled that 35% out of the air. But you'll always, when you're on the truck, you'll be making that typical wage. Now I would pay yourself a typical wage for that. So whatever that wage is. Now I run a 2-man crew, and my typical cost of goods sold around $50 an hour for that. So I do recommend you pay yourself as a 2-man crew, because At some point, I would love to see you guys running two-man crews. If you're doing VLM, you could probably get by with a one-man crew and bring that cost of goods sold down a little bit, being only one guy. So pay yourself either one guy's salary or two guys, whether it's $20 an hour or whatever, and then have that owner compensation account reflect all of that. So you're going to have your expenses. You're going to, instead of having payroll, you're going to have that owner compensation. If you have payroll, you're going to have payroll and owner compensation. So the payroll automatically 35%, boom, goes in that payroll out of every single receipt that brings in. So it already goes in there, and you have that ready to pay your payroll at the end of every couple weeks. So the payroll's there, your owner compensation goes into another account. And I know you guys are saying, oh, that's a lot of accounts. It is a lot of accounts, but it works like clockwork once it's set up. So now what do we have? We have the income account, we have the expenses, we have the payroll if you have payroll, we have the owner's comp if you don't have payroll, and then we have the taxes. And now what's left? Now we have the very crucial account for the whole purpose of this video was how to guarantee profit. So now we have a profit account. So that account gets whatever percentage you label it. So now it's going to be dictated by the other percentages as we walk down, because we only have 100%. So we have 100% to deal with, so each percentage has to work, and it dictates the value of the next percentage. So whatever's left is what you're going to have for profit. Now, I do recommend, if you are that person that's in debt, that you just feel like, man, I'm drowning, that set that profit, and this is what Mike recommends in his book, In Profit First, is put that profit at 1%. You know, just get something. Get something in there, that profit 1%, you can see it, so you can actually have something that you feel like you're doing something. Otherwise, you're going to get burned out. But once this is all set up, once you have all of your accounts in line and your percentages are lined up, you will guarantee a profit every single job, because you're going to say, okay, I made $1,000 today in gross receipts, and you just boom, you just bam, 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 bam. Everything goes into those accounts, and your profit account, in that last account, you get 5% or 10% or whatever your profit is off that 1,000. Okay, so if you have a profit of 5%, then you know that, okay, $50 is going in that account. That's just what's going to be. Every $1,000, I put $50 in there because I have a 5% profit that I'm going to have. So what does that mean at the end of the year? It means you have several $1,000s. Now, the way profit accounts will work is you can take a quarterly distribution on that, and you can distribute it to yourself as a bonus or to your employees as a bonus. You could sink it back into the business, or you can save it. If you want to, save for a new truck mount or some new equipment, you can put that in a savings account. You can say, okay, we're going to distribute this out, but we're going to put it in the savings account for the business, and it's going to sit there, it's going to grow, and in 2 or 3 years, you're going to have $10 or $15 or $20,000 in that account that you can pay now cash for a new truck mount. Now you're not financing and gaining more debt. You financed your own truck mount by saving it at 5% off of every single job. Is $50 a lot for $1,000? Not really. You're not even going to miss it at that point. But if you don't do it, you won't. You're not going to have it there. You're going to spend it. It's going to go in expenses, or it's going to go in your pocket. If you do not have an account set up that guarantees that holds that profit account, and you run your business as a stinking business, stop digging into every single account and just put it in your pocket because you want to go on vacation. It's a business. It cannot run it like that. Your owner compensation, you save that. That's your paycheck. You don't continue to just drag out I have more money in that expense account, I can take that. Oh, there's some money down in that tax account, I need to pay this guy, I'll just take it out, I'll put it back later, and then never gets put back. Now you're just playing with fire. At some point, Murphy's going to come knocking on your door, and your world's going to come crashing down, because you're not going to have any money to pay anybody, including the tax man, including your payroll. Now everything's going on a credit card, and you have a $50,000 in credit card debt by the end of the year. Now what do? Now you're drowning again because you didn't do what you needed to do. Take the time, and I'm going to tell you guys how to do this. I can't make you do it. I cannot hold your hand and make sure you go to the bank and do your research and find a bank that you can open 5 and 6 accounts at, and they're not going to bat an eye. And what's really important here is you've got to find a bank that offers free checking, period. Free business checking is a must. You cannot have a bank that, oh yeah, it's $10 per account. And yeah, they're going to say, oh, well, as long as you have a minimum there. Well, a lot of these aren't going to have a minimum on the month. Some of them will, but your income account is going to be riding at zero most of the time because all that money's coming out. So that's not going to be free if the bank doesn't offer free accounts. Find a bank that offers free accounts. They're out there yet, whether it's credit union or just a bank, somewhere. Union Bank offers free checking accounts. So I can go in there and I said, okay, I need 5 accounts. Bam, they opened 5 accounts and I was done. Set them up, go home, nicknamed them, put the percentages on there that I need, and all I got to do is have a bookkeeper or myself. I could just say, okay, just divvy these out, and then that your payroll's always paid for. You know that your taxes always paid for. It's sitting there waiting to be divvied out when a bill comes due. So it's a very easy system once it's implemented. If it's not implemented, it'll never work. Or if you implement it halfway, it's halfway there. You're not going to be able to completely rely on it if the accounts aren't there. Oh, I don't need a payroll account. That's just going to come out of expenses. No, it needs to be there because you're going to use that payroll money for something else unless you're extremely disciplined. And some of you are out there, and some of you will be fine not having it. But many of you are not. Many of you struggle with this very thing because you've never owned a business. You're strictly a technician, and we don't know business concepts. So I'm here to teach you business concepts. I'm tired of seeing you guys broke all the time, and I'm tired of seeing you guys set your prices by what other people are setting their prices at, and then you're struggling year after year. And I talk to you guys after your 10 years in business, and it's a mess. And I'm having to fix things that are incorrect and done wrong, and your wife's pissed at you because you're in this mess, and I don't want you to be there. I want you to be able to have a successful, profitable business that's fun to run. That's above all things. Let's have a good time in this life. Let's not waste it on worrying and stressing about paying payroll and taxes. Let's make sure it's paid so we can actually take off. Hey, we got, we have a 10% profit margin, and at the end of 6 months, we have $8,000. Let's distribute that to us, and let's go take a vacation. Let's go to Hawaii. You have $8,000 to just blow? Do it. You know what? If you've got it, that's what it's for. Let's have a good time. Let's build a business that we can enjoy, and then we can meet up with each other and say how great this business is, and that we are business owners. Again, no longer carpet cleaners. We are business owners. Let's start running our businesses like business owners and stop running it like dead broke carpet cleaners that rely on credit cards for everything. So that's it. I hope this video makes a difference in your life. That's my whole goal with these, is to make a difference in your guys' lives. If it's something that you think you need more of, I'm happy to work with you one-on-one. I've got a great course that teaches you from ground up all of these concepts and a whole lot more, marketing, everything. So if it's something that you need and you need help with, I'm happy to work with you. Just go onto the website at Carpet Cleaner Training, sign up for a consultation. I'll talk to you guys. Other than that, just work harder every day. You know what? Just get this set up and let me know how it works for you in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon. It'll let you know when I'm pushing more of these out. There's going to be lots more coming, lots more on the way. So let's get out of the dead broke carpet cleaner mindset and let's come on into the business owner mentality. So, all right, that's it for today. I will see you guys in the next video and the next podcast. Have a great day.